Jimmy Kimmel is being fined nearly $400,000 because of one of his jokes. I believe it was mocking President Trump. We'll go through it. But the story was, I have them both pulled up. Donald Trump sent a presidential alert to everyone's phones, and apparently it made that noise or whatever that everyone's used to. Well, I guess Jimmy Kimmel wanted to make fun of President Trump, so he ran a skit, and now he's being fined nearly $500,000 because you're not allowed to do that. And there's a lot of reasons for it. I mean, when they do the tests on TV, like blaring the sound, people have to be alert. Like when they hear that, they know something is happening. You go to your TV, you look at the TV, and it says this is a test, and you go, okay. When you do it in a skit and people don't see that, you're going to trick people. Like the problem is we want to avoid a boy who cried wolf problem. So not only is Jimmy Kimmel being fined, The Walking Dead is being fined for doing the same thing. But we're going to focus on the Jimmy Kimmel thing because we're going to be critical of Jimmy Kimmel. See, Jimmy loves going after Trump, and it's fine if you want to do it, but I don't think he's genuine and serious. But now he's kind of paying the price for this segment. But anyway, let's read the news. And before we get started, head over to timcast.com/donate if you'd like to support my work. There's a PayPal option, a crypto option, a physical address. But of course, share the video. YouTube is deranking my content. With your support, your recommendation by sharing it is way better than YouTube's ever would be. But let's read. They say, broadcasting emergency alert tones during non-emergencies and outside of proper testing is a serious public safety concern, according to the FCC. BuzzFeed reports. The Federal Communications Commission has fined ABC and AMC a whopping six-figure sum over episodes of Jimmy Kimmel Live and The Walking Dead that used emergency tones. The FCC issued a press release on Thursday announcing settlements with ABC and AMC, along with other broadcasters for airing actual or simulated emergency alert tones, which violates the Commission's rules on proper use of the emergency alert system. Broadcasting EAS tones during non-emergencies and outside of proper testing is a serious public safety concern, according to the FCC. The combined total the companies have agreed to pay will amount to over $600,000 in civil penalties, with each network promising that it won't happen again. On October 3rd, 2018, Jimmy Kimmel Live broadcasted a comedic sketch that used the wireless emergency alert tones 3 times. It was just hours before millions of Americans received Trump's first presidential alert, which the Federal Emergency Management Agency used to test the new system. ABC admitted to the violation and agreed to pay $395,000 in civil penalties. So my understanding was so I guess the Jimmy Kimmel sketch was before Trump actually did it, but there was talk that Trump was going to be sending presidential alerts to our phones. There's a bunch of alerts. I don't know if you've ever gotten them, but whenever it rains here, I'm in the Philly area, my phone is like, you are going to be wiped out by a giant flood. And I get this thing. There's also been a ton I've received on my phone of Amber Alerts when I'm on the highway. So your phone will start making crazy noises. Actually, this was crazy. It was like a month ago or a couple months ago. I was like sleeping. The lights are like kind of dimmed. When all of a sudden I hear my phone starts blaring as loud as possible. And I'm half asleep. So I just like confusingly just like smother the phone like I'm half awake. And then I kind of started to wake up like, whoa, wait, what's happening? And I looked and it said tornado warning spotted in your area. And so that's amazing, right? I was sleeping and my phone, which is next to me, went nuts. And I grabbed it and then I looked and I woke up and it was like 2 or 3 in the morning. I wake everybody up. I'm like, we got to get in the basement. They're saying they're seeing a tornado forming. So what would happen if I woke up and it was Jimmy Kimmel doing that? And then the next time I heard it, I'm like, oh, not Jimmy Kimmel again. Therein lies the serious problem. I get it. You want to make fun of Trump for doing presidential alerts. But listen, warning systems, period. I don't care if it's coming for Trump. I understand there's a joke to be made, and I respect Jimmy Kimmel's right to make the joke. But they paid the fine. They've put it past them. I think we're good. But it's important to point out, man, you can't be reckless in this stuff. You know, in their quest to just mock the president, they literally simulated an emergency alert system. Look, I get it. You want to make fun of Trump because he's going to send out emergency alerts. And the joke, I guess, is that it's going to be like tweets. Like Trump gets banned from Twitter, and then you get an emergency alert where he's like, so-and-so is a fat pig or whatever. Yeah. It's funny, man. But listen, I think there's a lot of people on the left that it's like no matter what Trump does, it's a joke and they laugh at him. And it's like, dude, come on, man. Like there's a time and place. The presidential alert system isn't a joke. Like, you can make fun of the president. I get it, man. But there's a reason we need alerts. There was a period, this big thing happened in Hawaii where people got an alert, like a missile was inbound, and that made people go nuts. That's terrifying. So you have to understand, while it's funny that Trump tweets, we're not going to play a game that Trump's going to send a tweet out to everybody saying so-and-so's a fat pig. So when you make that joke, congratulations, $400,000 fine, because you need to take this stuff seriously. So here's what I want to do. I got to drag Jimmy Kimmel over this. I do. I absolutely do. I am not a fan of cancel culture, but Jimmy doesn't get, a special pass. When these people want to play this game, dragging Trump, playing into the leftist outrage culture and all this stuff, you're gonna get yours. Okay. So first, this is just the press release by the FCC. They talk about Animal Planet did this, Morello Radio Holdings, AMC's The Walking Dead. They say ABC's Jimmy Kimmel Live on October 3rd, 2018. They broadcast an episode of the late night show Jimmy Kimmel Live, which used a simulated WEA tone 3 times during a comedic sketch. ABC transmitted the episode nationwide to 250 TV stations, including 8 of its owned and operated stations, which in turn broadcast the episode in their markets. ABC admitted to the violation, agreed to pay a $395,000 civil penalty, and committed to a compliance plan. So good on them, right? They pay their fine. You reap what you sow. I'm not here to drag them over the coals, but I got to do this. Here it comes. I have to drag Jimmy Kimmel. There's so many people that think they are special, that think they have a right to call people out, mock and belittle. Now, Jimmy Kimmel, for the most part, I'm not trying to drag him. Like I'll respect what the show did, like in terms of paying the fine and accepting responsibility. That's always a good thing. But in our cancel culture outrage, you want to make fun of Trump all day and night. Look, what is it? Glass houses and stones. Jimmy Kimmel and Jimmy Fallon have done blackface in the past, right? Now, I'm not trying to point the finger at Jimmy Kimmel necessarily to claim he is a key component in outrage culture, but he is a very prominent show, constantly dragging the president, orange man bad. We get it. You are not in a special position, dude. You are in a precarious position based on the culture you are inflaming when you constantly do this. By all means, you can make jokes, and by all means, people can change. Bill Maher had an amazing segment where he said, Kamala Harris in 2010 came out against legalizing marijuana, and today she's for it, and that's all that matters. And I'm like, great. Here's the thing. Jimmy Kimmel, it was appropriate for him to make this joke back in the day. And I get it. I'm not gonna blast him for making a joke about Trump. But I want to point out, back in the day, he's like, it's appropriate for me to do this. Did he learn anything? No, of course not. There's no learning. There's no change. Today, it's appropriate for him to make fun of whoever he wants. And so what I end up seeing is, does he actually care about Trump? I really doubt it. I don't think he cares. I think he's just like, it's marketable. So was him wearing blackface. So the point I'm trying to make is, you can't claim to be on a high horse, pointing the finger at the president, making fun of the fact that he's putting out an alert system. You'll pay a fine for it. And you're also not in, I don't understand how we come to a position where Jimmy Kimmel is supposed to be a moral arbiter for us. Going on TV and being like, how dare Trump? Yeah, how dare Trump? Come on, man. Let's not play these games. So this is a story back from February 7th. And I bring this up, for one, because Jimmy Kimmel is now in the news, reaping what he has sown with his joke mocking the president. So I'll say this. People can change. People can grow. Not a fan of cancel culture. I think people need to tone everything down, and that's why I wanted to bring this story up for the most part. But I also want to reference, the Sarah Silverman thing that just happened. I think it's fair to criticize them for doing blackface within reason, because I do understand comedy. Like, they were mocking the idea of blackface. Actually, I take that back. Jimmy Kimmel wasn't. He was just literally dressing up as a basketball player, like, was it Karl Malone or something? So it wasn't even him making fun of blackface. He was literally just doing blackface. That is leaps and bounds worse of anything you could accuse the president of having done. So I view people like Jimmy Kimmel as just like without principle, without integrity. It's just, if it's marketable, they'll do it. I think, wasn't Jimmy Kimmel on The Man Show? Like a very offensive show. So how do we get to a point where he is the one dictating what is or isn't moral, where he's getting up and preaching about gun control and things like this when he clearly doesn't know what he's talking about? And here we go, you pay the fine. So, look, I don't know. I'll just end by saying people shouldn't be canceled over making jokes in the past. Blaring a presidential alert because you want to mock the president is a step over the line. But he's gonna get his. Sarah Silverman just got hers. It's gonna come back to Fallon and Kimmel. The thing about Sarah Silverman when she did blackface was that she was actually making a point about blackface she was wearing blackface to make a point about it. Jimmy Kimmel literally just did blackface. Like, he just literally body painted himself and then made fun of the way a black guy was talking. That's dramatically different. So you're the last person I'm going to come to for moral advice. And I admit I'm not even going to watch this show. But anyway, I'll keep these segments short, as I usually say. So stick around. Next segment will be at 10 a.m. Thanks for hanging out. Podcast every day at 6:30 p.m. And I will see you all next time.